Hello student, welcome to the online tutorial session. Today's topic is mixed topology and the network architecture. So in mesh topology, every device has a dedicated point-to-point link to every other device. The term dedicated means that the link carries traffic only between the two devices it connects. A fully connected mesh network therefore has n into n minus 1 by 2 physical channels to link n devices. To accommodate that many links, every device on the network must have n minus 1 input and output ports. There are actually two type of mesh connection is there. In a partial mesh topology, some of the computers are connected to all the computers, whereas some are connected to only those with which they frequently exchange the data. In full mesh topology, each computer is connected to the all other computers. So example is this type of topology used in mission critical application where a fault in the network cannot be tolerated. The internet uses a partial mesh topology. Okay. So now comes to this advantages of this topologies. Here I have mentioned this to form the topology, how many numbers of cables is required, that is n into n minus 1 by 2. Okay. Now come to some advantage and disadvantage of this topology. Advantages are that the first, use of dedicated links guarantees that each connection and can carry its own data loads, thus eliminating the traffic problem that can occur when the link must be shared by the multiple devices. Second, a mesh topology is robust. If one link becomes unusable, then it does not infect the entire system. Third point, another advantage is the privacy or the security. When every message sent travels along a dedicated line, only the intended recipient sees it. So physical boundary prevents the other user from gaining access to this message. Finally, the point-to-point links make the fault identification and fault isolation easy. So traffic can be routed to avoid the link with the suspected problem. So this facility enables the network manager to discover the precise location of the fault and aids in the finding cause of the solution. Now comes to the disadvantage part. Okay. So the main disadvantage of the mesh topology are related to the amount of cabling and the number of input-output ports required. First, because every device must connect it to the every other device, so installation, reconfigurations are difficult. Second is saying the sheer bulk of the wiring can greater than the available space can accommodate. And finally, the hardware required to connect each link can be very expensive. Okay. So now come to the point that computer architecture. Okay. So computer architecture, or you can say the computer network architecture. Okay. So network architecture defines that how a network functions. So this indicates whether a computer in the network has same role or certain computer has some special role in the network. Okay. So according to this network architecture theory, there are simply two type of network is available. One is peer-to-peer network, another is client-server network. So first we will discuss about the peer-to-peer network. Okay, it is also known as P2P network. Okay. So in peer-to-peer network, architecture allows the client computer to bypass the servers and directly communicate with the other computer. So before going to start, so we have to know the terms. Okay. So term is like server and the client. Okay. So first we will discuss about who is client actually. A client is usually low-end computers. Okay. And actually what is server? Servers is therefore the special computer which all the other computers in the network is connected to as a client. Okay. So client will be connected to the server, or server you can say it is a back-end device where all the information are reside, and client are actually the front-end device. So in case of peer-to-peer network, actually the clients are no need to directly communicate with the server to getting the information. They can directly communicate with the other client as well. That's why it is called that peer-to-peer network. Okay. So in peer-to-peer network system, there is no particular computer such as acting as a server. So each computer in the network acts both as a client as a server as per the requirement. Each computer has its own hard disk, can work independently if required, and network resources like printer, scanner, they can be connected to any other computer on the network and can be shared by the all computer. Suppose system A wants the data from system B, then system B is work like a server and system A is work like a client. Okay, so vice versa can be going on. Okay, so they don't need the back-end kind of a device. They can communicate with each other. So that's why it is peer. So what are the advantages? It is relatively less expensive to set up and eliminating the needs of costly server. Second, it is actually relatively easier to set up the network. It makes a network fast by reducing the network traffic load on the busy centralized server, because if each and everyone is trying to access the server, then what will happen? So there will be load on the server, so it will be delay to getting your queries done. So that's why it will reduce that one. Problem faced due to the breakdown of the central server does not arise. This is the main important one. Now come to the disadvantages, that there is a lack of central server based administrations, that there is no one actually controlling the total thing. And number two is data is not protected by the traditional server based security mechanism, hence it is less secure. Okay, so a security issue will be there in case of peer-to-peer network. Okay, now come to the client server. So you know the basis of what is client and what is server actually. Okay, so client depends on the server service to provide by the server to carry the various operations. The client sends the request to the server for the specific operation that may include file operations or a print job or database access, etc. The server in returns answer to the request by sending back the specific requirement to the client. Suppose you are accessing Google, you are actually write a particular question, and depending on the particular question, they are giving you the link. This is the same kind of a concept. Okay, so corporate networks are usually client-server network, as they offer the better security features application in the internet. Internet also follows this client-server approach, where the user acts as a client to the request to the internet service from the specific server. So now come to what are the advantages. So now come to the advantages of it. Files stored in a high-speed file server can easily be made available to the client. Since the data is stored centrally in the server, updates need to be carried out at a single place only. Reduce the load on the client computer as the complex query are processed on a higher-end service computer, and greater server security is guaranteed that only client with the proper permission can access the data. Now come to the disadvantage. With the increased number of client requests, is to the given server, the server can become overloaded. Number 2, in case of server stop working, then the request made by the client computer cannot be served. So, thank you students. I'm ending my lecture over here.